welcome back to the K-Cup. Glad you're here. Here we are, part 5 of the 5-part series, The Business of Being a Contractor. Glad that you're here with us for this final part. We're wrapping up this series. It's been a great series. Hopefully you all have gotten some value out of it. We'll talk a little bit about that at the end of the video, how you can source this material in a couple different ways and use it to actually, as a checklist for your own business if you're an aspiring contractor. So John, here we are, episode 20, and rolling right along, part 5. We're finally getting to the completion of this project, of this series.
Thank goodness.
It's been a slog, huh? But we got there. So let's go ahead and get into this, the project completion and beyond. We're going to talk about, final documentation, inspections, things like that, all the necessary stuff it takes to get this wrapped up, warranty, overview, things like that. So let's get into the project completion and delivery of the project to the project owner. Tell us a little bit about these final inspections and walkthroughs and what goes on.
Yeah, so typically at the end of a project, you have what they call a final inspection or a punch list walk. And, you're meeting with the owner, you're meeting with the architect, you're walking this, the near complete space, for the first time.
Yeah.
And you just give an opportunity for the owner to look at it, to see if there's anything that, they may want to change, anything that sticks out to them that they would like to see maybe a little different.
Yeah.
We try to get ahead of that process. We try to have our guys, and subcontractors go ahead, build their punch list prior to, a punch list walk with an architect or an owner.
Yeah.
Just to minimize that list and
be proactive.
Yeah, just to show that you're putting your best foot forward.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you come in and there's not much of a list, then you look a lot better.
Yeah.
But it's just something to ensure that the product's meeting the expectation for the owner.
Yeah.
And I mean, there can be simple things on the list. There could be some major things on the list. It just depends on the type of project.
Mm-hmm.
Generally speaking, it's usually a pretty minor list with not a lot of I guess things that are kind of catching you off guard.
Yeah.
I would say that your superintendent and even your subcontractors. I mean, for some of these jobs, they could have been on the job for 5 or 6 months or even longer, maybe a year.
Yeah.
So there's definitely things that slip through the cracks that they don't necessarily see because they're looking at it every day.
Yeah, some fresh eyes help.
Yeah, so fresh set of eyes, and even the owner. The owners haven't seen this final product, so they can usually point out a few things that they would like to see, different or kind of rehashed.
For sure.
So that's kind of what happens in that final walkthrough, and it's a common process. I mean, it's a real formal process in the public world.
Yeah.
And then we kind of bring it over to our private projects as well. Anytime you have a process, it usually ends with a better product.
Yeah.
So we do the same thing in the private world. We try to have these walks, and in the private world, there's different types of projects. I mean, if we're working with an architect, they usually would set this up anyway.
Yeah.
But if it's a design build project, we still want to come in and kind of have this same process.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think it goes without being said, there's a little more flexibility in the private side of things than there is in the public sector.
Sure.
But it's still a good process to implement on both sides,
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the closeout docs, what those entail and how, those help the owner out, the project owner, once we're handing this thing over to them now.
Yeah. So if you've ever bought a house or done anything, got some time into it and realized some product that you have is going out and you don't know where it came from or a model number or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this closeout process does. It gives the owner a contact for the vendor or the subcontractor. It gives operation manuals. It gives warranty manuals for those products, and it really leaves them with something that they can fall back on. I mean, warranty and closeout kind of run hand in hand. Everybody's going to offer. We typically always offer a 1-year warranty. And depending on the project, I mean, the public world, those warranties are really spelled out. The private world, it's kind of up to us and up to the owner to come to an agreement on the warranty period.
Yeah.
But that closeout document kind of spells all that information out. It sets the expectation on warranty. It gives them the product data. It gives them the maintenance data. It gives them the operational data. And then at the end of the day, it also gives them the contact for the subcontract.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of information that would be put together in those closeout documents, so that you don't just walk away and they have all this whole new space with no real information on it.
How to manage it and run it.
That's right.
Yeah, operate it. A lot of times those operation manuals and maintenance manuals, in the past they were typically always physical, and then of course added to those closeout docs would be the as-builts too, just so they know where everything's running at. But today it's common also to include an e-file of all those documents
Right.
too,
Yeah.
which that could be quite a little project putting that together.
And
too.
generally, that's what most people want these days. They don't want to see all the paper documents. I mean, closeout documents could be a really thick binder.
Yeah. Or multiple binders.
And with the e-files, they can be a lot easier to search and find exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And the as-builts were an important part of the closeout documents. I mean, it shows how everything's ran. It shows where particular pipes and different things are ran. So it's real handy part of the closeout documents.
Absolutely. So talk a little bit about we've been through the punch list, the walkthrough. We've executed the punch list now. We've got the closeout docs coming together, and so we still got some final payment coming, and we know that there's lien waivers, things like that. How does that whole process fall into place, and maybe highlight how it kind of may differ between the public and the private sector?
Yeah. So at the end of let's call it the final walkthrough. So usually there's a punch list walkthrough, and then there's a kind of a final walkthrough where you verify that the punch list has been done with the architect, the owner, whoever. So once that's complete, they usually issue a notice of acceptance, some document similar to that, and that document's filed away at the clerk of court, and you have a lien period, usually 45 days, and then after that 45 days, the owner can release payment with confidence that there's nobody out there that's not been paid, or anybody that's done wrong on the project.
Yeah.
Because typically by then it would have come up if there was some issue.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how the whole lien period and lien waiver works. Basically, you get a clean lien at the end of the 45 days.
Yeah.
We submit that to the owner, and then the owner knows, hey, I can release payment, with no real issue.
Yeah.
And it does differ a little bit on the private side. However, just like I mentioned earlier, it's really kind of a good process, and it's protects everybody. It kind of
for sure,
it's just a help, really. So we typically kind of try to implement that on the private side also, specifically if the owner wants that extra level of I don't want to say protection, but just give you some confidence that everything's going to be done in the right manner.
Yeah. It lets you sleep at night too, because you know that there's not going to be some fire that's going to come out of nowhere that you're going to have to put out because someone didn't get paid. Everything's been fully disclosed. Everything's had time to go through its processes, and once it's done, it's done.
Right.
You can move on with your life. So good deal. All right, so that kind of wraps up our punch list walk. Getting final documents together for the owner, how the last payments, or how those take place, and the fact that you make sure that there are no liens, that the property's clear and free from any kind of encumbrance because someone didn't get paid and all that. So now we're post completion, and what kind of follow-up do we have? The warranty period has started now. The project is officially completed.
Yeah.
So how do we manage this post-completion period?
So usually what happens at this point is, at the 1 year mark, we have kind of what you call a warranty walk. And basically you meet with, the owner, you meet with the architect, or, whatever professional record is involved. And you kind of walk the space, make sure everything's holding up according to plan. Make sure there's no little outstanding things that need to be taken care of.
Yeah.
That maybe the owner's kind of overlooked, or just, everybody gets busy. Maybe something's popped up and you need to get it fixed, but you don't take the time to reach out to us or whatever.
Yeah.
So we want to look at all those kind of items and understand at the 1 year mark, like, what's everything look like.
Yeah.
And I would say that from time to time, there's a few things that might come up in that meeting, just like what I said. The owner's like, man, we've been noticing that this is out, but we hadn't had time to call
Yeah.
y'all. But we'd really like to get it fixed under the warranty period. So, we would reach out, and if it's a subcontractor, if it's something that in-house that we need to repair or whatever, we'd get those things kind of taken care of.
Yeah.
But basically, it's kind of we want to show that we're there to honor our warranty.
Yeah.
But also it's kind of a clean break. Like at this point, if there's issues or if there's things going on, then yeah, we're here to help and we're here to get things done. But it's probably goes beyond a reasonable warranty item at that point. It's probably just because of wear and tear or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it shows the owner that, look, we've met our expectation and we've done everything we can in good faith to make this thing right. So it just kind of draws a line in the sand too, which is important because if not, if the owner is just constantly reaching out to you, a lot of times we kind of feel obligated to keep helping and helping, and it can drag on for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's really a good process for for both sides, really.
Yeah. Again, and that's another example of, like you said, having a process in place, even if it's not necessarily required.
Yeah.
You take the initiative and have it, because it sets boundaries, it sets expectations, and that lets people complete certain steps and move on and go to the next thing, and not constantly be getting pulled back into something that should be complete and over with. So as far as managing client satisfaction, developing feedback loops so that you can continue to improve the processes of your company and your team, how does that unfold? What are some of the things that you do to try to get good customer feedback and use that to improve?
Yeah, so I think the first thing that we've done and what we've done for a long time is just simply ask for a Google review. When we first started, it was basically just, hey man, how do we do? In conversation, I wanted to know as an owner, like, how'd you feel about the job?
Yeah.
And that's good and everything, but sometimes you don't get honest feedback because it's hard to look at somebody and say, man, you did good there, but you didn't do good there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But from there we kind of went to, let's start getting Google reviews. I know that became a big thing, years ago, and that's something that we've tried to.
Social proof's important today.
Yeah, we've tried to implement and make sure that we're getting Google reviews and that kind of thing from some of our clients, and take it a step further and even do like a video review that we can get put on our website. I think that those are very strong.
Those are great
because you can, once you hear a person, you see them on camera, you get a feel for kind of who that person is, and it's really a strong deal when they come in and give you a testimonial that way. So it's something that we've done. I will say those are a little bit tough to get. People don't like to get on camera and talk or do anything really.
Yeah.
But those are a very powerful tool if you get clients that are willing to do it. So it's always nice when we do have one that'll do it. And then I'm not sure what we even call this last deal. We got like a satisfaction poll, or
it's an anonymous client survey.
Yeah, like a survey that we basically put out, to get anonymous feedback. And we try to send it to a lot of members of the, we call it team members, but just everybody involved in the project. We want to know, how we perform, at what level to their expectations. So we send that to everybody.
Yeah.
And that's a really, really powerful tool to use, And the thing about it is, if you can get good, honest feedback, it works for both of us, If you're just telling us that we're doing a good job all the time and there's areas that we're not happy in, then we're continually failing probably other customers too, because we don't know it.
That's right.
But also for that person that's kind of not willing to leave the feedback, if we work together again, you're probably not going to get satisfied again to the highest level because we don't know about the pain point. So it's always nice to hear both sides of it. If there is a pain point, like let us hear about it so we can make it right.
Yeah.
And make the product better for not only if we work with them again, but for other clients.
Yeah, for sure.
And look, if it's all good, that's great too. We want to hear that. Nothing like a good slap on the back, good attaboy, and keep going, So that lets us know that the processes and the stuff that we are doing are working.
Yeah.
So if it's, I'm not saying that we're looking for bad feedback. If it's all good feedback, well, that's good too.
Yeah.
That benefits us as well.
Absolutely.
So it's just good, honest feedback. It just serves us both sides, you know.
Yeah. And we know that over time, because we ask for feedback and honest feedback, even if there are areas where we have to improve, that really sets the tone for the relationship between us and the client. And that can, just by doing that, can result in getting a referral where if you hadn't asked for the feedback, they may have, you know, made you feel like you did a great job and then just never offered the referral, and they just go away and they never become a client again, never refer you.
Right.
But just by asking for that feedback, even if they had an issue here or there, a lot of times that will win you that referral because they find that to be, something very positive, and that it shows that you have integrity. So
Yeah.
we know that's something that we try to do as well.
Well, too, I think just asking for the feedback shows you that you care.
Yeah.
It shows you that you want to get better.
Yeah.
Uh, so I think that you have to ask for it.
Yeah, it's going that extra mile, and like you said, it helps you get on target too. You keep making those necessary adjustments. Eventually, you're going to start hitting bullseyes over a period of years of getting good feedback like that, and then actually,
Right.
making it actionable and taking steps to
Yeah.
adjust your aim, I guess you call it. So, all right, well, let's kind of recap this 5-part series. Like I said, this is part 5. The project's complete. We just went over all the different elements that are involved in that. Punch list, warranty, closeout documents, all these different things, final payment, things like that. But let's just go ahead and talk about just very briefly how we got here. Part 1, what was that about?
Yeah, I mean, part 1 I think was like the business development, client acquisition. Uh, this is where we're out there trying to create some leads.
Yeah.
The cool part about that is it's fun to be able to put some ads out there, or to have you add some clients to your list of guys that you're dropping off cookies to, or people you're setting up appointments with to visit with.
Yeah.
To have those leads, or to get a lead, one feels like a win.
Yeah.
But then for it to convert to a job, it really just puts the icing on the cake, So
Yeah.
that's the cool part about that first phase. It's fun to go see some of your work pay off, to be able to create some leads and then to get a job off of it. So
Yeah.
that's really what I like about that first phase.
Yeah.
And then I think, the second phase was kind of project planning, maybe some contracting. I don't remember exactly what we talked about in that second phase, but the thing I like about that phase is that's where you really start to build rapport with your client.
Yeah.
You get to know each other, you get to hear their vision, you get to hear about, what they want.
Yeah.
And it's a fun process. I mean, I'm kind of a people's person. So I like that phase of the project, getting to know them, getting to understand what they want to do.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, I enjoy it. Some people don't like that part of it, but I like it.
You get a feel for the design team element too.
Right. Yeah. We bring in our sub team. Most of those guys we already have relationships with. We work with them all the time.
Yeah.
But it's fun to see everybody gel and come together as kind of one group, and really just build the team. It's a fun process.
Yeah, it starts looking real at that point.
Yeah, and then the third phase was kind of the pre-construction phase, and that's where you really starting to look into permitting and doing some of that different stuff. I mean, to me, this is kind of the blah phase, if you will.
The tough logistics.
It's not always exciting.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's something that has to be done, to move the project ahead.
Yeah.
But probably definitely the most boring part of of putting together a project.
For sure.
And then the fourth phase is actually construction, and we do all these other phases because we like to build. Like, this is what we want to do. So moving into construction is always exciting.
Yeah, at last.
Always fun to break ground on a project, see stuff happening.
For sure.
So that's the phase that we really enjoy, is just getting out there, building the job, making it happen.
Yes.
And then completion is it's rewarding, because completion is the award for all this other stuff that you've done, these other steps.
Yeah.
It's exciting for us to see the final product, specifically if we help design, build, and that kind of thing is really exciting. But even if it was completely designed by somebody else, it's always fun to see the project finished
Yes.
You know, it's always fun to see the owner, you know, ecstatic and ready to move into their space.
Yeah. Very
So
rewarding.
completion is just kind of the rewarding phase. It kind of tops everything off, you know.
Yes.
So I think all the phases are, you know, fairly cool and exciting or whatever, except for that one kind of permit. I hate dealing with the permit part of it, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's rewarding, man. It's super fun, and I love what we do.
Yeah. Great process. A lot of steps. Hopefully, you all have enjoyed this 5-part series. And if you're an aspiring contractor, or if you work with contractors in your industry, say you're a commercial real estate professional, commercial lender, architect, engineer, hopefully this gives you a little better understanding of all the processes that, as a contractor, we go through to create a built environment. Uh, a lot of logistics, the first 3 steps of this 5-part series is basically all planning and logistics. And before we ever get to do what we actually love to do, which is, like you said, build something. So hopefully you enjoyed that. For each of these episodes on the K-Cup, there are also corresponding articles on our LinkedIn uh, feed. So you can follow us on LinkedIn, the Kelly Construction Group, and you can find an article for each of these steps, part 1 through part 5. And you use those as a resource. If you're an aspiring contractor, you could literally use those as an outline, a rough outline on what it's going to take to become a contractor. Or if you know somebody who's aspiring to do something like that, you might direct them to this information so that they can familiarize themselves with what's involved in actually being a contractor. It's not a cakewalk. It's not for people that don't like rolling up their sleeves and really digging in and working hard, because there are some very challenging steps to the
Right.
process,
Yep.
particularly step 3, part 3, all the logistics around permits and site prep and making sure that zoning's right and all that stuff. But in the end, you end up with a finished result that you can be proud of. You get paid well for it, and the project owner comes away with what their dream is now a huge giant step forward to being fulfilled. So great process, great opportunity for everyone to learn a lot and grow. So we hope you enjoyed this 5-part series. We'll have some good stuff in store for you next week. We're going to come up with some more good insights on business, particularly around this industry. And we also have some great interviews planned here coming up in the very near future. So stay tuned to the K-Cup. Come back and see us again. Any parting words, John?
No, man, let's go build something.
All right, that sounds good. Let's go build something. Cut.
Cut.